regular school, a regular elementary school, and he's in a class, what they call an AU class, which is an autism class. So there's 4 boys in the classroom, and he's one of the 4, and they have 1 teacher and they have 2 teaching assistants. And so with that type of environment, he's able to receive almost one-on-one, and that's helped him considerably throughout his years in primary education.
All right. Because me and a few other friends of mine, we're doing a subject for our exam called Global Perspective, and we're supposed to basically choose a topic, and we're supposed to go in detail to it. So we chose autism awareness because when we were asking around in our class, most people didn't really understand autism, and the people that did think they understand it, they had the wrong idea of it. They thought of it more as somewhat of a diseases sort that contained symptoms, and they didn't quite understand it. It's not that they meant it offensively. It's just that they didn't have the understanding towards it. So what would you have to say to teachers and to students?
Well, I understood, and I still understand what they go through, because I meet so many children every week that have different types of autism. So, I can't really give advice in regards to what it is, because it is so many things. For instance, there's a young boy that I know that is very brilliant. When I say very brilliant, I mean in the way that he talks and the way that he speaks fluently. And then suddenly he'll stop speaking fluently, and he'll start to do what we call stimming with his hands. He'll do this, and then he'll just continue to talk to you. And before that moment, you wouldn't know that he had autism. You would just think he was doing something strange. So I think the best thing for individuals that want to get to know about autism, and there's so much out there, information, I think that it's important to just read as much as possible and try to get to learn as much as possible, because it's very difficult for me to just explain it in just one sentence, because autism is so many things. And I know I didn't really give you an answer, but that's honestly the truth. Autism is so many different things that it would just be difficult for me to explain it. I think that oftentimes the focus in regards to autism and its symptoms, and I don't necessarily want to call it symptoms, but you look at the more severe autistic individual, when in fact there's so many more individuals who are on that spectrum, like the president and CEO of Microsoft. He has Asperger's, and he's very functional. So it's really hard to say, but I think that the more you understand and the more you read about it, I hate to say this, the more confused you'll be, because there's so much about autism.
All right. Well, we have a department in our school called the SEN department, and that focuses on children with maybe learning disabilities. So they basically they look after children. This is mainly just from the lower grades. We don't pertain to the higher grades, but from the lower grades, just to do a little bit of extra coaching. So to anyone that's watching this, is there anything you'd like to tell them?
Well, yes, there are many tools out there to help with the learning and different techniques for teaching. And I think that it is important, again, that you be patient, but also utilize some of the learning techniques. There is a website called understood.org, and they offer many techniques that can be used for teaching individuals with various disabilities. One thing with autism is that many of the children have just dyslexia and attention deficit disorder. So it's really important to learn really great techniques. Understood is a great resource. That and the fact that it has many articles that can be used and downloaded and saved, and it's at no cost.
All right. Well, bullying is alive and well in schools. I'm not saying specifically our school. I'm just saying in general, it's something that goes throughout a school. It's a norm. Is there any is there anything you'd like to tell for those people who either get bullied or are kind of bullied in terms of, well, bullying in general?
Yes, no, I understand. And I think that it's important for children early, very early, to be introduced to those who are different and to understand the importance of being good people and protecting the weak, or what's perceived as being a weakness. I'm very fortunate so far in the fact that I've always made it a point to introduce my son to children. He likes children, and explain to them that he learns differently than they do and he may need some assistance. And when I explain it, they're very nice to him and they're very welcoming to him. But I realize that as he gets older, it may not always be like that. So I think that it's important that we stress the importance of just being good people to one another. And it cannot be stressed enough. But that's the best that we can do, is just show kindness to everyone.
Sure. People come when people say autism, they usually think of it as somewhat of a weakness or a disability or a lack of something. But you actually have experience working with this, so is there anything you'd like to remark on that?
Yes, it's not necessarily a weakness, because there's some things that my son can do that his typical peers cannot do. Again, I think that autism in so many ways is a learning difference. There's so many people that have autism that have excelled professionally. When you look at someone like Temple Grandin, and again, when you look at someone like Bill Gates, and even Albert Einstein is rumored to have had autism. You look at those people and you know that they are brilliant. So I wouldn't necessarily look at them and say they have a disability. So autism is many, many things. And for many who have autism, they perceive it as being additional abilities. So I guess what I can honestly say is that it's just different. That's all it is. It's a difference. And I know that there's many people who have children who have severe autism. They may not feel like that. And I guess for me, it's always important to remember those individuals, because while we have so many that are very high functioning and they're out in society, there's many that may not ever make it to society. So for their parents and their caregivers, I guess it really is seen as a disability. But I'd like for everyone to have a perspective that, again, it's so many things, and let's not always think of it as something really tragic, because it's not necessarily a tragedy for most people.
All right. Thank you, ma'am. On a final note, is there any? We'll be displaying this video hopefully to a large body of students and teachers as well, just so they can get a basic idea of it. So, is there anything you'd like to tell anyone that's watching this?
Well,
Maariyah.
I'm on a Skype call. 1 minute. I'm sorry. This is on video.
Sorry.
This is actually on video. Wow. Okay, I'm sorry. Continue.
Sorry, no worries. Well, what I would like to tell everyone is that I do appreciate that you're learning more about autism, and I would encourage you all to continue to learn more about autism so that you can make a difference in the autism community. We need people just like you to help make the world and the autism community a much better place. So I thank you.
All right. Thank you so much for your time.
Oh, you're most welcome. Thank you.
And it's a pleasure having you. Is there any way we could help out? Maybe if you have any campaigns or you need to spread awareness? If there's anything?
Well, we do have a campaign right now. One of the things that is very prevalent in the autism community is wandering. I can't explain why they decide to wander away, but they do. Oftentimes, they are drawn to bodies of water, which often ends in drowning. And there's been many, many cases here in the States, and I'm sure many cases around the world. So right now, our campaign that we have going is to prevent autism and wandering. So we are raising money to provide families with door alarms so that if the child decides to wander away, the alarm will be on the door and it'll just buzz, so that way they'll know that the child has exited a room, so immediately they can go after that child. So that's one of the biggest campaigns, because so many families in what we call the underserved community, and that's mostly families here in the state, what we call families of color, because it's been so difficult to expand autism awareness out to various communities. So we want to make sure that we do that. If you'd like, I can send you some information about that, and you can share that with your class. And if you'd like to talk another day about how autism and wandering can be fatal, we can do that too.
Definitely, ma'am. Our campaign is all about awareness, and it isn't just about the grade for us. We're very passionate about it. So, yes, we'd love to.
Great.
All right.
Well, I don't have anything else to add.
All right. Well, thank you so much for your time. What's the time there, ma'am?
It is 9:16 a.m., so it's in the morning now.
All right. Well, I'm sorry. I'm sorry to keep you from your work early in the morning. I'll cut this very short. Thank you so much.
It's fine. You're just preventing me from driving in traffic, which I don't like, and it's raining, so that means traffic is bad. So it's a very good time. So thank you.
All right. Thank you, ma'am. So, to everyone that's watching, this is Miss Camille Proctor. She's from the US, and she's kind enough to take her time to tell us all about autism awareness. All right. Thank you, ma'am.
Thank you. Bye.